Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. So today I want to talk about the first progressive rock single of all time. Now, this is by the Beach Boys, as you can tell from behind me, and disclaimer, you could very much make the argument that before Days of Future Past, before Sergeant Pepper, before the first Procol Harum album, well before the first King Crimson, before Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Pet Sounds was the first progressive rock album or progressive pop, progressive, let's say, album, progressive full stop. I'm not selling progressive car insurance though. Nor are they sponsored this video, but hey, we can talk. We could also, of course, perhaps say, and I know Frank wouldn't like this, but some would say that Frank Sinatra's Freak Out was what was something that could be considered that as well. But let's just look at singles. Let's look at individual songs that were correctly considered progressive, something different. And I have to say that the first of that that the first of that genre was definitely Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys because it really had it all. Did it have unusual sounds derived from unique instruments or typical instruments being played in unique ways? Check. You had a theremin, woo, doing interesting things, and you had both guitar and Hammond organ played in a way that you wouldn't necessarily have heard them on your typical pop record. Did it have various different thematic sections, movements, if you will, within a single song? Check. Did it have an unusual lyrical theme with multiple potential meanings? Check. Did it just hit you like something from space, something different, something that audiences weren't prepared for and weren't expecting? Without a doubt, yes. Did it have elements of neoclassicism in it, elements of sort of other genres that are sort of left of center from the pop world, particularly the pop world of 1966? Check. And these are just some aspects of why I think that it was a very unique track. And people at first didn't know what to think of it, but it's come to be beloved by the wider world and seen as a quintessential Beach Boys hit, albeit one not in the typical style of the other Beach Boys hits of the day. By the time you get to 66 in this era where Pet Sounds was released and later in the year Good Vibrations as a single was released, Brian Wilson is making a very clear statement. He was taking the band from a band that had been sort of intentionally, you could argue by Murray Wilson, the father patriarch, intentionally typecast as a band where we're only going to sing about the beach, about cars, about girls, about feel-good stuff, and we're going to do it in our super upbeat style built around our vocal harmony. He said, well, we're going to ditch most of that format. We're going to keep the harmony, but we're going to ditch most of the rest of it. So it was like a conscious break with what people expected from the Beach Boys. And it was also Brian saying, look, I have ideas about composition. I have ideas about arrangements that are different than the stuff we've been doing since my teens. And I'm going to do them come hell or high water, no matter who likes or dislikes it. And he did that. Some would say that because of the other things going on in his life, it eventually came at the expense of his mental health. That's, of course, a different story. But from a musical point of view, it was absolutely triumphal. And again, there were some people that preferred the old Beach Boys, the Beach Boys where you would lie in the warmth of the sun, listen to a song about surfing, and everything was fine. But now we were getting far out. But as the decade rolled on, Good Vibrations felt less and less of an anomaly and more of something that actually set the tone for the remainder of the decade. And I think that you could say that psychedelic rock, progressive rock, unusual rock that entered the pop charts and permeated and influenced the pop consciousness, you could really honestly say that that began in many ways with Good Vibrations. And it happens to be not just a song that pushed boundaries and that did really interesting things sonically, but it's a good song. It's a damn good song. And at the end of the day, there's only two genres, good music and bad. And I think most people would agree that Good Vibrations is definitely in the good category. Like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.